Hi, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Stellar Lumens, taking a look at the price action on the 1 hour, 1 day, and 1 week timeframes, giving my thoughts and opinions on where I think Stellar is heading next. Now, as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is down in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with that 1 hour time frame. So here we have XLM paired up with USDT on the 1 hour Binance chart. Now, as you can kind of see, we've been kind of flipping it and turning between bullish structures and bearish structures. So you can see here that we were in a bearish downward trend. We then moved up. This was kind of confirmed and changed characterization on the 29th of September. That did not last very long before we went back into a bullish state of play. This happened back on the 3rd of October. We then obviously had a bit of a wick upwards, liquidating anyone who was shorting the market. And then, of course, we've continued this move to the downside afterwards. So it's a very volatile market. I think this is probably an indication of low volume and low demand. Let's go ahead and just quickly check down here. You can see that you have these spikes coming in just for those movements. So you can see it's a heavily manipulated market. Either large orders are coming in and they're honest large orders, or those large orders are coming in just to liquidate positions, right? So again, it's one of those. We'll keep a close eye on it. Ultimately, the volumes and the demand for XLM is incredibly low in this bearish market that we find ourselves in. Okay, so we want to make sure that if we are to go short on the market, that we have very, very wide stop losses, it would appear. Specifically, if we're going to be going for coins and tokens that have low volume behind them. Now, ultimately here, we can see that we are also with our traditional kind of EMAs and SMAs bearish as well. We are below the 50 SMA, the 50 EMA, and the 50 and the 200 EMA. Okay, so the yellow, red, and white lines, we are below all of those. So it doesn't look overly strong at the moment. Now, from an Elliott Wave theory point of view, it looks like we still have a bit more to the downside to go. We can just go ahead and sense check that. Our target range is going to be a little bit deeper than where we currently sit. It's going to be approximately between 10.9 and 10.91 and 10.95. This is a 3-wave pattern. I'll just use ABC to pick this, as you can kind of see it there. Now, this will form a part of a bigger structure as well from the upper side, which will be that wick high. And again, this is why Elliott Wave theory doesn't like it. If it's not got a lot of liquidity, doesn't have a lot of demand to it, then of course you're going to get these big swings in the market. But you can see here 10.35 to 10.51, that's going to be a bigger play to the downside overall. Okay, and so we want to kind of bear that in mind. It's all the way down there. Okay, so on our hourly chart, it's not looking great. It's bearish, right? Take this up into the daily time frame, and this is where things start to really kind of come together in an interesting way as well. We can see the 3-wave pattern to the upside and the break to the downside here. You can see that we bounced up and we're looking to still move on down. And you can see that target range is actually a lot deeper here on the daily time frame. Okay, so if I go ahead and show you, this looks like an A, B, and C coming all the way back down to the previous bear market low point. Okay, now what's interesting about this is that this will, although from an Elliott Wave theory kind of gives you this idea of this move to the downside, towards 7.2 cent, we can also draw this out slightly differently, which would be under a head and shoulder pattern here. So let me go ahead and show you what that would look like if I go snap that into place. Up here, let me actually draw this in, coming down more towards our down here. So you can see right away that we have this to draw that head back up there where it is. There we go. So you can see that we'd have this head and shoulder pattern in play. Okay, and so we want to kind of be, it's not a neat example, of course, because of where this sits, but if we were to adjust this out a little bit and let's say not come down to that 1-to-1, and we did actually have that here, you could see and depict this. Let me see if I can get that. There we go. right into a head and shoulder pattern forming on the daily time frame. So a move to the downside would basically allow us to look at this thing as a very bearish pattern with a head and shoulder pattern. Obviously, Elliott wave theory doesn't require the idea of something like a head and shoulder pattern, but for the most part, it's easy to understand. And you can see here how we had the left shoulder, the come back down towards the neckline, the head, the coming back down at the moment with Elliott wave theory predicting out that we have to kind of move towards 7.2 cent. Then we'll bounce up in a bear market rally, only to come down, break that neckline, and go into new bear market low points. Okay, so it's not looking strong at the moment on Hedera hash graph, on Stellar Lumens here. And so we want to kind of bear that in mind, that ultimately the hourly chart's not looking great, the daily chart's not looking overly great. Now, that's not to say that we move in straight lines, because we will expect the bounces here and there. We will kind of see, a bit of a move to the downside in line with our hourly, right? We'll look at these little small moves, bounce up and then move back down again. Nothing will move in a straight line, but ultimately we are looking at a particularly bearish pattern for Stellar Lumens on the daily time frame, and it's not looking strong. And I think ultimately this is a good opportunity if you want to dollar cost average. For me, though, I don't think this is one that I will be looking at dollar cost averaging into personally. Now, if I take this to a weekly, you can see here that our Z wave structure does look like it needs to come down a little bit deeper. Okay, so our bear market low doesn't necessarily look like it is in. So 7.02 is our current bear market low point here, so we can kind of see it from December 2022. We have points of interest down here at 5.7, and our lows do come in at potentially 3.5. So our range here is really anywhere between 3.55 and 8.37 as our bear market low points. And I'm saying that 5.7 looks very, very interesting. Okay, 5.7 looks very interesting as a good level of support. So this could be where we find and start to see a bit of a turn in the market. Now, if we do have the low point of 5.77 cent, then we can see some pretty interesting gains on the horizon here for Hedera hash graph, right? If I go ahead and move that over to a 5.77 low, then we could see a potential 2,970% move to the upside. It may even go up a little bit further, up towards that kind of 6,700 to 6,800% range. But it hasn't got kind of massive more gains out of this. I think that's essentially where it's likely to kind of top out at. It doesn't look like it has a lot of potential, a lot more potential to it than that. So we're talking about $1.77 upwards towards $4 at $3.97 approximately. So it's not looking brilliant. It's got some returns on investment for sure, but it doesn't seem to have the same kind of capacity as many of these other cryptocurrencies that we talk about on the channel for more significant gains. We talk about things that happened in a previous bull market, such as Polygon's Matic doing 45,000%, and here we're talking about 6,000, possibly as low as 2,900. And so when we kind of reflect on other protocols or other kind of coins and tokens that actually perform better than that. So for the most part, I think that this is probably not one that I will include in my portfolio because it has a limited outlook on it. I do have exposure to other ISO projects like XRP, etc. I have got Algorand and things like that. So I just don't think that Stellar Lumens is one for me personally. Ultimately, I like the project. I like what they're doing. I like what they do for the crypto space as well. But ultimately, I don't think from a return on investment point of view, this is one for me personally. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. If you have found this video useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? I'll catch you in the next one.